Thank you very much for that. Hard act to follow. I'm not going to be giving out government grants, but I can talk about some of the opportunities that we're certainly trying to encourage to support manufacturing. So just before I begin, I'd certainly like to acknowledge traditional custodians of the lands in which we gather today, the Wurundjeri Wurrung people of the Kulin Nation, and pay my respects to their elders past, present and emerging. My name's Sharon Robertson, and a big thanks for the introduction. I'm here to introduce the organisation that we run, which is the Manufacturing Industry Skills Alliance, and talk to you about how we create a future-ready workforce that empowers the manufacturing industry. Okay, so MESA is a little bit about the Manufacturing Alliance. It's industry-owned, industry-led, and it's a not-for-profit national organisation. As a Jobs and Skills Council, we're funded fully by the Australian government. There's 10 Jobs and Skills Councils across Australia, all covering different sectors and all work collaboratively to understand, plan and address workforce skill needs, develop training products, and drive continuous improvement in the development and delivery of training and assessment, and finally, and importantly, drive that strong strategic industry voice. We do this through what we call a tripartite arrangement. That's working with unions, industry and governments to tackle the workforce challenges. It's the coverage that I want to cover off next. So as you can see, our remit here is broad and diverse, covering not just traditional manufacturing such as sheet metal fabrication and food production, and a lot of that's out there today, but also sectors you may not expect, such as medical and pharmaceutical production. It includes everything from lab ops and medical technology to emerging industries such as defence and space technologies, along with 3D print, bioprint, advanced manufacturing and production. So I'm just going to spend a little bit of time, as suggested before, just talking a little bit about some of the projects that we've got on foot at the moment and some of the things that we're focusing on. No surprises that they're all very much focused on one thing, and that's very much about delivering workforce solutions that directly respond to industry's needs. Our key priority that I'm certainly begins with projects currently underway. They include, which I'll talk a little bit more about shortly, making manufacturing an attractive workforce proposition. Our mentoring and succession planning project and a series of best practice case studies are other projects that we have on foot. These projects respond directly to the challenges identified in the 2024 Manufacturing Workforce Plan. They're focused on helping to achieve a skilled and capable future-ready workforce, one that positions Australia's manufacturing for long-term success. We're also progressing several new initiatives in 2025 that have emerged through our industry engagement, including Women in Manufacturing, a project which is already generating strong interest. Alongside this, we're looking at our 2025 Manufacturing Workforce Plan, which again will provide practical roadmap to equip and support industry with the capacity and workforce it needs to compete and remain future ready. Today is only a small snapshot of what we're currently working on, and I encourage you to visit while we're here today and stand MS 130, which is that way, in the Manufacturing Solutions Zone to find out more about what we do. Okay, so the first project, as I suggested, I want to talk a little bit about, which you'll be seeing more about soon, is this is a project that's actually focused on attracting young Australians into the industry. It focuses on making manufacturing an attractive workforce proposition for young people by highlighting the modern landscape of industry and establishing manufacturing as an attractive career path full of potential. Our initial focus, interestingly, focused on changing the perception of young people, is because we believe that young people saw it as an outdated or unappealing opportunity. But in a recent focus group with young people, we actually heard something completely different. And that was that they didn't see manufacturing as anything. They didn't even know about it. For many, manufacturing careers simply wasn't on the radar. So that certainly changed our approach from being a perception based to more about building awareness in young people, because that's the thing that obviously needs to be the focus. Um, Aim of this project, though, is twofold. It's not only putting manufacturing on the map for young people, it's also about shifting the perception of key influencers, and that includes parents, career advisors, and career teachers, who often have that, I suppose, like many of us, an outdated view of what a manufacturing career can be. Shifting these views and these perceptions will be essential if we want young people to receive informed and supportive guidance as they explore their opportunities. Our next project is again something that some of you may be aware of, and it's targeting the impact of an ageing workforce. This is a pilot initiative, and we're targeting 2 sectors that we understand are most impacted by that ageing workforce, and that being our print and graphics, alongside our plastics, rubber, and cable making sectors. These sectors were specifically chosen due to the number of specialised workers nearing retirement, which is putting critical industry knowledge and workforce sustainability at risk. To address this, we're consulting with industry leaders and employers to develop a mentoring and succession planning set of tools tailored to the needs of SMEs. These tools will guide employers in managing, I suppose, that mentoring and succession planning for their organisations, and helping them and equipping them with things such as tools to support knowledge transfer to enable that passing of expertise from retiring workers to younger workers. Mentoring effectiveness, certainly keen to support creating mentoring programs that align business goals and boost employment satisfaction. And finally, addressing barriers to succession planning to ensure smooth leadership transition. Once the pilot's complete or going well, certainly keen to be rolling that out more broadly. So moving to our next project, and that's around, it's titled Emerging Skills, Occupations and Industry, but really what this one is about delivering a series of best practice case studies for workforce transformation. That will be done through an online library resource, which will showcase innovative skills development and retention strategies that equip industry with proven solutions for workforce development. We know manufacturers are facing workforce challenges in attracting and retaining talent, and this project is about learning from what's already working in the industry. I think you all know there's some really successful things out there. It's how can we actually leverage off those? Already we've heard some really great examples of collaboration between schools, TAFEs and employers, for example. Findon Tech School in South Australia is working with industry, TAFE SA, and others, and industry, I suppose, to help young people explore and connect with trade careers early in the piece. Another great example is up in the NT, where one organisation is successfully re-engaging young people with low school attendance by offering try a trade days. And that sits across a number of sectors, including manufacturing, to help them choose a pathway that suits and commits them to training. Employers are also thinking creatively to attract and retain staff. And one manufacturer that we know as an organisation has partnered with a childcare centre, for instance, to support working parents on site. You can see there's a diverse range of opportunities, all the same goal, but all coming at it from a very different perspective. The next project, of which I'm certainly committed to and passionate about, and we're moving to a second project already, and that's Women in Manufacturing. It's certainly a project that is focused, no surprises, on addressing the continuing challenge of very low participation of women in manufacturing industries. Based on employment data from the 2021 census, 5 of the manufacturing occupations with technicians and trades worker categories experiencing significant skill shortages had a female workforce participation of 1% or less. So clearly, a lack of workforce diversity means manufacturing is not able to access and utilise cohorts of people ready and willing to work. This work is about identifying projects and initiatives successfully underway and enabling attracting and retaining women in a positive sense, and really trying to leverage these and to share with you how we can actually leverage that success that they've been able to achieve. Okay, so that's the projects that we've got on foot, and they've been driven very much from our workforce plan that we worked on in 2024. 2025 is literally hot off the press, and it went to our board and our strategic task force in the last couple of weeks. It's been approved. So a few more steps in that process, but I can certainly share with you some of the insights that have coming out of that, and the glossy of that will hopefully be out in the next little while. So this plan is certainly developing and building on the 2024 workforce plan, but it's taking a slightly different perspective. It's taking what we're calling a futures perspective. And whilst there's a range of national priorities of which we're all fully aware of, we've targeted those that have the most impact, we think, on your workforce. These pillars is what we're calling them. We're calling them the workforce transformation pillars, and they're very much those that will actually change the way we work, not only how we do it, when we do it, but also what the outcomes are. So our industry consultation, interestingly, has identified opportunities for the manufacturing sector across all of them. So if we were to look at, for instance, the first one, we all know clean energy means clean manufacturing. And in our conversations where we start to prepare the workforce for sustainable production practices and advancing Australia's net zero ambition, we're certainly seeing those conversations move to actually how do we enable the efficiencies that can be derived from that. So certainly looking at it from a business improvement perspective as well as net zero. The next one is around our circular economy, building our skills to support resource efficiency, waste reduction and sustainable manufacturing practices, not only actually support the attractiveness of your organisation, but also going back to the attractiveness of employing people, because those goals and commitments certainly sit within many people out there in the community. The third one, I don't even know if I need to tell you this, it's advanced technology. And you've only got to look out there to understand that that's certainly the really important part for a manufacturer, and it's how you actually enable that competitive edge. But how do we actually support you in ensuring that you have a tech-savvy workforce? And that's really what we're trying to focus, and how we can have that tech-ready, tech-savvy workforce now. That's certainly our focus. The next pillar, again, somewhat topical for all the wrong reasons, is around sovereign capability. And that sovereign capability is about, for us, how we can support manufacturers build supply chain resilience to strengthen that sovereign manufacturing capability. COVID certainly showed us that supply chain and the breakdown of that supply chain causes all sorts of challenges. You've only got to look at what's happening globally to understand that really understanding how we navigate through that supply chain over the next wee while is going to be vitally important for many of you. How can we help you do that and make sure that you've got the skills in your workforce to support that? And then finally, obviously, the reason for our existence is ensuring that strong and responsive skills system. The backbone of the skill system for us is the apprenticeship model. And how do we make sure that that apprenticeship model is actually enabling and building the resilient and adaptable and contemporary workforce that you need? So our view or our aspiration is to certainly build these pillars into the skills system, into our workforce plan going forward, that hopefully provides you with access to real opportunities to leverage those pillars that are presenting many of us, not just in our sector, but many other sectors. So that's really the key thing, and that that particular workforce plan and the initiatives will be out hopefully in the next month or two. And we'd be certainly keen to talk to you more about that and anything else. I'm just going to look at opportunity for questions, or do you want me to wrap up? Okay, I'm getting that I must wrap up, so I'll do that. But before I go, I'd just like to emphasise that our work very much depends on strong industry engagement and collaboration. There's a lot of industry experience in the room today, and I want to make sure that your voices are heard through our work. So if you'd like to connect with us or someone in your network, you can see Hillary's here, and I think a few of the other team at MS 131, I think is the stand. Please come and connect with us, even if you just want to say, make sure you keep us posted on your workforce plan, or there's something else that you'd like to share with us. So thank you very much for your time today.
A big round of applause for Sharon. And if you do have any questions for her, she's going to hang around for a couple of minutes, so please.